You're listening to the Soju Sessions, episode 52 on the Soju Talk Nation podcast feed. I'm your host, Crispy, also known as Crispy Wonton, or simply just Anton. And on today's show, Reach returns to the show for Queendom 2, episode 4. We are making this a weekly discussion. I'm having the time of my life. These past 3 performances, the last 3 of the cover challenge, turned out kind of fantastically. A lot to talk about, a lot to digest, a lot to think about. But overall, just really fun to see this collection of musicians, K-pop idols, girl groups coming together, performing each other's songs, and really getting to know them and kind of their character on the show. I think this episode does a nice job of doing that, specifically for Kepler. So big shout out to them. We get into a lot of the details on the show, so I'll kind of save that for when Reach and I get there. But ultimately, man, yeah, the show is super fun. So just shout out to Reach. Big props for him coming onto the show again. And yeah, we're just going to do this until the end of the series because I kind of love it. It makes my week. It's something I look forward to. And I'm honestly just glowing with how much joy I'm deriving from the show. So yeah, let's get into it. Coming up, my chat with Reach on the Soju Sessions. Joining Soju Sessions and returning to the show on this beautiful Sunday in California to cover Queendom 2, episode 4, the one and only Reach. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, good to be back. To be back.
Yeah, man. No, it's amazing doing these recaps with you because I am having the time of my life. I am just very excited to talk Queendom that I can't even speak correctly right now. So let's without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So Queendom episode 4, it's the second half of the swap challenge, the cover challenge. And we've got 3 groups, the last 3 groups to go. We're just going to jump in. So we got VVZ, G-Friend, as I put it a million times last week, covering BBG, covering SojuSessions Unnatural. All right, I have a lot of feelings about this, so I'm going to throw it to you first. Otherwise, I will probably just not stop talking for like 30 minutes. What are your overall thoughts, feelings, and takeaways from BBZ covering Unnatural by SojuSessions?
Okay, first of all, I think it's a good song choice. Honestly, I did kind of before the show or before this episode, there was like a spoiler that I saw, so I'm like, damn it. Someone leaked it out in Twitter and someone posted. Unnatural is the best choice, I think. They did mention that it was the song that SojuSessions used to like that from their, I guess, canon theme, their space theme, and then they switch to like a dark theme, quote quote dark, with Unnatural. Don't know if this might be a take, but I don't know if I don't think they remixed it to my liking, because it, if you compare to the first 3 songs, they they changed the composition of the song. It doesn't sound like it. Let me put it this way: this Unnatural remix sounds like the normal song, and then they just changed the background, like the BGM. I mean, the chorus. I mean, the verse, right down to the chorus. There's like they put a dance break in the middle, but that's the only thing extra they put in this remix. But if we just look at the structure of the song, it's down to the wire, almost similar to the original recording. They just make it senorita style. Um, yeah, that's my first initial. Um, and VVG, the veteran, they're always relaxed. It feels like they have this aura of confidence when they, even like when they prepare and in recording, in stage. But I think this is the first episode when you can see some sort of struggle, especially with Unha, right? She's trying to do that that lift with the leg, and I was waiting for that moment actually in the performance. But you know how a Korean show, they when it reaches some kind of highlight, they repeat it like 2 3 times. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. They did it a couple times throughout other performances that were very noticeable
Yeah,
this
but
week. Yeah.
yeah, but on that part, I'm like, they didn't repeat it. It was just like wait a minute, they did all that practice montage of her trying to master this move, and then and I don't know, like I was waiting for that moment, and then it just passed by. It just gone by. But then we actually find out why, because she was disappointed that she didn't make it, or I guess not at the way she wanted it, right? Um, I think, how do I say this? It's like a special stage in a music show. Don't come at me.
No worries, man. It's okay. I appreciate that you and I always, not always, but have differing opinions on things, and it creates a nice tension and chemistry. Without tension, you need some tension for chemistry. I will
Uh-huh.
just say, I disagree. This was my favorite stage of this week.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
for a number of reasons. So I understand what you're saying about it's the backbone is very much of the original version of the song, but I think conceptually and taking into account that this is going to be a stage performance, they did one of the better jobs of recontextualizing the initial song. So even though musically it may sound similar, the tango inspiration, kind of the senorita that you're talking about, they captured that so well with the visuals, and you have to. Well,
Mm-hmm.
at least me personally, I paired that really well with how different it was from the original, right? Going into the kind of the leg lift, so that was the main story of the process, right? Of them putting together the song, the recording, and the choreography. Shout out to Anna for challenging herself and trying to push through and really showing some vulnerability, talking about her where she stands with choreography and dancing, and the
Mm-hmm.
leg lift, right? So it's the effect of creating a fan over with her legs. I think because there was such an emphasis in the pre-cut like story, when it happened on the stage, it was just like, oh, I was acutely aware of what it was supposed to look like, and then when it didn't get executed that way, I felt for her immediately.
Yeah.
But then again, like it's with the cutting away to different reactions and repeating certain shots, it kind of just let you live with it in one go. So then they cut to her at the end, and it's just like, she's just as disappointed and sad, and I felt for her, But overall, I think I like the fact that it's different from their first stage. So I think we talked about this a little bit last week. How week to week you do want something to kind of shock your system with groups performances, and I
Mm-hmm.
really like the idea that they had these big flowing dresses, tango inspiration, and really showing a different color as they do in K-pop for this show specifically. I want to give a big shout out to Rip Away Clothes and Rip Away Outfits. I think those are the MVP of this past challenge. With I keep wanting to say Unbi. I know it's Sunbi. So the reason I keep wanting to say Unbi is Insua's and Cindy's dynamic as friends, calling each other sweetie all the time. Just it distracts me sometimes. You know.
Yeah, I did also almost. I have to catch myself trying to call her Eunbi.
Yeah,
I mean, in my notes, I have notes here, and I put Eunbi and everything, but then I call her Eunha.
right. Right. I'm just like, oh man, it's like, oh, that's so adorable. But you know, your name is Shinbi. We all know you as that. But I do like the fact that the stage, they played around with the geography and kind of using the different sides to emphasize one member, right? And it's not just they're all performing on separate stages. It's a lot of blending. So you have Umji on the left, and then Cindy would come in behind her and kind of flip the stage, right? And then it would cut over to Unha on the right, and then they'd all meet in the middle. They'd all have different sets of choreography. I think Cindy's with, again, tearaway clothes, and into what was the setup for her? The flag, the flag prop, and then Umji with the cane. You can hit me with the cane anytime. Hi. And then Anha with the dance sequence at the end to kind of wrap it all up. I think overall for me, I think it was just a very nice take on the song, and really just elevating them as a group, separating from the first performance. And again, I think the process, the color, and the outfits were just really stand out for me. What did you think about the reactions? It really looked like Uju Sonyo was laboring. I love Exie and the way that she just is so exasperated every time someone does something amazing. How did you feel about all the cutaways to Cosmic Girls?
You know, they got plenty of. I think the production really likes pan to Uju Sonyo in their reactions. Okay, I'm pretty sure they kind of amped it up a little bit more for the show, but you can tell when it's real and when it's you know, they put little MSG, you know.
A little MSG tastes good sometimes, you know. It's got a little
MSG is
flavor.
good.
You gotta lift it up. You know, we have to take it back. We have to recontextualize MSG. It's not just this air quotes harmful chemical, because it's not. It adds flavor, it adds punch, it makes Uju Sonyo what they do best, is just react and give facial expressions.
It makes the world a better place.
Truly, cheers to that. Well, let me ask you, so you know, the song didn't work for you. What were the elements of the song, aside from being maybe too similar from the original, that kind of took you out of the performance?
Well, I didn't look. Let me, I guess, reiterate what I said. I didn't think it was bad per se. I think it was the weakest of the six, because, like I said, you know, they keep the structure of the song the same as the original. They changed the background music, right? And then they add the dance break in the middle. I think it was just straightforward kind of, you know, they didn't do cut and paste, move this part here, change the melody here and there. You know when in the first episode of Yu Sonyo, it did they do the first episode?
Uju Sonyo, no, they performed near the end. I think they were last, but then they ended up performing fifth because Luna.
Yeah. But they that was a totally different chorus, right? Like that aspect I appreciate more when they kind of changed the structure of the song. But in this one, they kept it as, you know, as the song intended, and then they, you know, changed the feel with the background music. But I you know, it's a good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a kind of weak iteration. That kind of feel.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. Yeah, no, I think for me, it's also seeing how well the three of them perform it. And it's kind of a reminder that, yes, they've been around for over 7 years. So they have a lot of poise. And like you said, just very relaxed throughout the entirety of the show. Even going through struggles, even going through concerns and questions about their abilities. They're just, I imagine their green room is just so chill compared to like Uju Sonyo and Kepler's. Kepler is just high energy children playing, and Eugene saying, "I'm 10 years older than some of you." Cool. Yeah, no, I think I have a soft spot for G Friend, so that's why
Buddy?
I'm a, well, okay. So I will not claim being a buddy. I will say I have listened to their songs on repeat all week, in addition to the Queendom songs that were released. Shout out to Spotify for having them immediately. I just cannot stop listening to that. But yeah, I went back and listened to a lot of G Friend. I so good, so good in so many different ways. A lot of different versions of their music, different versions of them as a group throughout the years, and you can really see the progression all the way up until I would say even Mago trying to do the trend at that time sounds really good. And just listening to that album was just kind of an incredible kind of journey for me recently, kind of revisiting old music, right? So I think it's just all good stuff from G Friend. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
And then listening to VVZ's album again today was just, oh my God, they're so good. Okay.
Not gonna lie, I did also listen to their discography way back when we revealed the cast of Queendom 2. I'm like, wow, okay. So I went back and listened to pretty much everyone's.
Yeah, it's refreshing, right? To kind of go into the discography to see how their sound has evolved and changed over time, and then when they talk about their music on the show, and then trying to reiterate or contextualize certain songs, it's like, oh, they did some different things with it. Yeah, it's just really fun experience. I think you and I are taking this very seriously and lightly at the same time, which is honestly, I love it. All right, let's move on to the second performance of the week. We had Kepler covering Brave Girls. They did something kind of interesting. So they took Pool Party, which is a fairly newer song, and then they inserted Rollin'. Rollin' Right Now is the official title, into the chorus. It was kind of cool to see Chaehyun kind of have the epiphany. It's like, oh, this could sound really good in the chorus, and them all just like accepting it and kind of being amazed by the fact that it works so well. I do have one gripe. So again, we did talk about the editing last week and the pacing. Why do they keep spoiling moments specifically for Kepler? So they call Kepler, right? Taeyeon announces them. And then before you get the package, the show package of them like going through the process, they immediately cut to Dayan and Yujin coming off the stage crying.
You're talking about the teaser?
Yes, in the show that we're going to see in 5 minutes. I'm just like, okay, cool. Please stop. I understand, Mnet, you want to create this narrative and story for your group. The show is compelling as it is. I love it. I'm sure a lot of people love it. The effect of finding out later, probably, at least to me, would have been more powerful. And we can kind of get into the reason why that they were crying a little bit later. But for you, how did you like the process of them kind of collaborating as a group, and the song choice? Pool Party, X Rollin'.
I really like the prep section for this Kepler group, because especially when they try to pick a song and then realize, well, we can't do Brave Girls songs. They're just way too mature, and we have like minors in the group. And then I love Hikaru. I love Hika-chan. When they trying to, I think they were talking about John Mane. What's the English title? The drive.
We Ride.
We Ride. Yeah. Sorry.
Not your
English
fine.
titles. Yeah.
Speak Korean. It's fine. It's better for me. I need to learn.
No. I need to learn the English more. What's it called? More familiar with the English styles. But they were trying to explain to her kontegi, which is like subtitled burnout in a relationship. That was the best section of prep. I think I replayed that like 3 times because she just effortlessly make you laugh. I love that part. And immediately after that, they like, yeah, let's not do this. We're not gonna do this. They don't understand it. They chose Pool Party. which I think is, I didn't thought about that, right? I thought they were gonna do. Actually, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, pool party was, I guess, the best thing they can. Who came up with that? Taeyeon or Chaehyun?
I want to say it was Cheon.
Yeah.
I think it was Cheon. Yeah, it escapes me right now. They were all kind of talking all over on top of each other at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. I think they were like I think they're shouting titles, but
right. Yeah.
Don't know if I like the roll-in insert in there. I think it sounds. I think it's surprisingly well with it, but rolling again. That's my initial thought. I'm like, hey, it sounds good, but don't do rolling again because rolling is everywhere, And there, I also have a take about Brave Girls and rolling. But I'll let you decide where we're gonna have that. But because especially if you look at the performance and they hit the chorus, and I do like the surprise kind of break. Like, wow, I can't believe they thought about that, and we appreciate that. But then, like in my head, like when they start saying rolling, rolling, like I lost the song, the pool party, how it sounds like, and I'm like, rolling just too powerful, It just by just singing the chorus, I was like, oh yeah, they're singing pool party, right? And then they one also criticism I have is they use the rolling choreo. I thought they should have done something else because I don't know. Rolling is, to me, is just being overused. And let's talk about that. Your gripe about the whole crying scene. I thought. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to think about?
It's Dayan and Yujin being shown that they're crying before everything that happened for their section. And then when you finally get it in the performance, initially I didn't see anything wrong with the performance. I was actually looking out for it because, again, if you show it, then there must have been something catastrophic on stage, which actually there was. But to me, I didn't see it on first viewing. And then when they cut away to it and they showed it and after, it's like, oh, that is pretty bad. That's actually for both of them, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I did caught Dayan at the end because I was looking for that, but then I was trying to find why Eugene was crying. I thought she was crying because she knew Dayan fell.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she was messed. I didn't know she messed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But but then like you see, like, oh, it's too slippery because you stepped on soap. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they didn't rehearse that, like with the soap.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. I have two things. Okay. So just for clarification, what ended up happening was Diane falls off the stage. Very scary moment. Yeah. Shout out to her for continuing. She's okay. She's good. But again, very scary. No one ever wants that to happen to anyone, even if you're not like rooting for that group or like their favorite group. It's just they're a person who could actually get injured. So first of all, glad she's good. Second of all, Yujin. Okay. I have a whole thing. So essentially, you mean to tell me a show like this that is being broadcasted to global audiences did not have the preparation and rehearsal time to do the set with the prop? Because a show like this is supposed to have a dry rehearsal, a dry run, where they're doing it at like 50%, right? 50% like effort. And then they're supposed to have a full rehearsal with all the props just to make sure everything is good. And then on top of that, you have producers that are supposed to watch every single detail so that health and safety on the stage is being held. And yet none of that essentially is what you're telling me was taken into account before the broadcast. There's a very easy, simple, clear solution. You attach a rug or liquid absorbing material literally right in front of that platform because it's on top of a wooden platform and you just attach it to it. There are stagehands, there are prop masters, there are people whose job it is to fix these things in the moment in a pinch. So
literally a mat.
A mat. Yes, you. And all she needed to do was stand on it as soon as she gets off the bubbles, and that
Oh boy.
fixes everything. She could have gotten injured actually because of that, which is kind of ridiculous. So it didn't affect the performance, at least as far as the camera angles and what we saw. But again, for her, that is incredibly scary. It's one thing to be dancing on like sand, like not to diminish what Uju Sonyo like went through, but that's still very different than you have a liquid that's soap that's not just water. It's something that is very slippery when it's on a no friction surface, right? So it's just
people get hurt slipping on soap. People,
right? Yes. So I'm very like exasperated and exercised right now over all of this because again, like these are real people. It's just like there's so much on the line, and yet that very small detail was missed, and just like that's absurd.
I mean, to be fair, when I saw that bubble scene, I didn't think about it at all. But then I guess so for people that are performing, it should pop up somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's what rehearsals are for. Man, okay. Let's. I'm gonna circle back because we got to get some good vibes on this.
Yes.
The prep I thought was great for Kepler. We actually got to see a lot of the character for a lot of the other members. So
favorite part.
The favorite part of this episode for me too. I love the way that they showed the package for them. So Hikaru going through the raps. Shout out to her finally utilizing her bars and her abilities on a big stage platform. And then we had Shen Xiaoting actually showing that it's difficult to be in a foreign country where you're still learning the language, and then also having to do pop music of said country in the language that you do not understand. So she pulls off just her stage ability and her presence as if she knew Korean or is natural in the culture, but it is still very new for her as well. So I love it. She's great. And then Mashiro and Hikaru also kind of trying to decode the language throughout the show was very cute. So all good things showing them as a unit, as a group.
Yeah.
As far as the song and performance, go ahead.
Well, Mashiro has been here a while because she's a JYP trainee, right?
Yeah. It's my joke is that she is Yeji's friend, and she is.
Yeah.
Well, so it's funny, like when you have to explain a bit, it's not as funny, but I feel like I have to explain it a little bit here. So on the server, I call Mashiro Yeso and Yeso Mashiro. I know exactly who they are. But they look so similar, or similar enough. And then they did actually talk about it. I was like, yeah, sometimes we look similar, that I will just randomly say, oh, hey, that's Mashiro, when it is in fact Yeso, and vice versa.
Okay.
Again, long-winded way to describe a bit. I'm sorry. So when Mashiro opens the stage, it's not. It's Yeso.
Gotcha.
She is great, right? I love the fact that one is an underwater theme, so a perfect pool party. But they actually open with an Alice in Wonderland concept with Yeso coming to the keyhole and then entering, and then wardrobe change. Not exactly tearaway clothes, but pretty close, right? And then they go into a dance. Like a duo bit between Mashiro and Yeso. Yes, both of them at the same time. And then they get into the rest of the stage. My highlight for this stage was the bar routine, which simulated synchronized swimming on like the front end of it. And then also just the way that they moved, very like underwater movements. I was like, oh, that's a really cool like visual effect for the group. And like very creative, right? Well, we can touch on it now a little bit. I loved Hikaru's part as far as her rap and being kind of pulled on a prop, but I didn't notice it until Luna mentioned, very similar to Chu being dragged on top of the bar with
With
the
I have
tablecloth.
that in my note.
Yeah. What did you think about that? And did you notice it when it first happened?
Yeah, I did see it. And I did like, oh look, it's like Chu. But then, I thought it was just a great part. Great minds think alike. I know. I have to have to remind myself this happens in the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. It was kind of funny that Luna picked that point of emphasis to be like, this is why you're below us, but they hated it. It's like, we don't want to say it, but we have to. For the cameras, they need the drama. But overall, I think it was a very cute performance. I think very fun. It had High School Musical vibes in a good way for me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at the end when they did the all in this together situation, and just very cute overall. I think we got a lot of the character of.
Shout out to Dion, who sat in the top of the little box. She's doing all the stunts.
Yeah, Diane is very much like the stage leader, right?
Yeah.
I know Eugen is technically the leader, but if Eugen wasn't there, I think it's Diane. Right. So I think.
Yeah. I think she's a pretty strong personality.
Yeah, strong personality. I think her brain works like a computer in a lot of ways. Just the way she sits down and either works out the choreo, works out the lyrics, works out the rap with Hikaru. It's just she's just supremely talented, but also like a hard worker. So it's like, God, what can't you do?
Cute as fuck.
Cute as fuck. Great hair. Very blonde right now. Again, shout out to her. I hope she's okay. I hope she powers through. Safety first, everyone. All right. Any close? Go ahead.
Yeah, one additional gripe. I don't like the part when the staff, like immediately after the performance end, and then everyone shoot to the waiting room. Oh, they're clapping for them. Like, yeah, oh, they did great. And then the staff like, oh, by the way, Dion fall. I'm like, why would you say that? What's the point of that?
Yeah,
that's my gripe.
So there's just some very questionable editing in general with the show. I think the last episode was the one where I was just like mind blown that was allowed, and now this one's like not as bad, but the timing of it, right? Because you have to imagine like you're an audience member viewing it from your screen. What is the order of operations? What is the sequence of events that you are experiencing? Mm-hmm. So you have like the end of the stage, everyone's happy, and then it cuts to Diane fell. Yeah. It's just the range of emotions isn't sequentially in order as far as like the storytelling you want to do with the show, right? Yeah, God. Kepler, we do like you. I swear to God, I like Kepler. Like they're great girls, very talented. I swear, guys.
I like their little chant before performing.
Yeah, they're so cute. I mean, they're definitely the young, high energy, like we are happy to be here group of this show. So yeah. I'm just, yeah. I'm happy for them, right? Yeah. All right, let's move on to the last performance of the week. We have Hyorin covering Luna. So what? With a hint of Paint the Town. She has a pretty cool process. So to me, it feels like she is just a machine who knows exactly what she wants in her entire creative process. But then she has a team that she can bounce ideas off of, essentially.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say that they're just yes people because it doesn't feel like they are. But at the same time, it's like, how can you really like push back against Hyorin out of just fear, right? At least me personally, if I was in that position, I don't really know the dynamic. It does seem like she has a strong team around her, so I just might be projecting my own insecurity and fear for everything that she is. Because if you know her, she's great. That's all I'll say. Watch her music videos recently. Yeah, powerful. And okay, so song selection. I take umbrage with the song selection, not the performance. I think she performs it well, but it really feels like they've but that they're leaning into Luna's past 3 years as being the representative of what Luna has done in their careers to the general audience who may not have followed Luna up until this point, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the three, I mean, they just talk about it straight up. It's the 3 girl crush songs of the past 3 years with So What, Paint the Town, and
Why Not?
Why Not, yes. And just like, I understand that those are recent songs, but Butterfly and Hi Hi are kind of like remarkable and amazing. I don't understand why those songs aren't even surfaced a little bit. But if it's a Hyorin thing and she chose it, you know, that's that is her choice and her selection, and far be it
Yeah.
for me to question her creative process, right? How do you feel like about Hyorin's creative process and the fact that she kind of went into this girl crush concept with a little bit of Catwoman, with a little bit of a town Gotham City feel to it? How do you feel, Mr. Reach, Mr. Sir? I am a mess right now. Yes, hi.
I think we forget that Hyorin is a pro. She's seasoned pro. She knows what she's doing. She probably already knows she's gonna pick Luna. She already know how the show formatted. I mean, he planned this. I'm pretty sure day one. Uh, I don't know if I like the choice of So What. I think she could have done Butterfly. That's what I like, right? I thought she gonna do Butterfly because I mean it has a powerful message, right? You know, we are all Lunas around the world. That kind of message. And after seeing her process, I'm like, okay, So What? She chose So What because of the lyrics, you know, because of she mentioned we like that message, and also I also like she wants this performance. She's essentially saying we're performing this for Luna. It's like a gift for Luna. I'm like, oh, can she just be the 13th member? She can be, I don't know what animals, an angel. I don't know,
Yes,
but
an angel.
yeah, yeah.
An angel that could also
Um,
be a devil in a lot of ways. That is for us old folks to talk about later because we're adults. Okay, moving on.
yeah, she knows what she wants. She immediately knows what color she wants. Um, the theme, Catwoman. What? So what? um, so what? You know, I don't know if I like I said, it's not that I don't like. I would prefer she do more, I guess, vocal based song because so what is more, you know, more sing talky, if that makes sense. Even the original song, you know, there's the verse is sing talky, the chorus is what's the word like so what, you know, like a fanfare or not a fanfare, but like an anthem shout out, and then with instrumental, you know. And then I mean the pre-chorus also have the pre-chorus is great, the best part of the song. The bridge also. I thought she was gonna pick something more vocal based because you know that's what she's the best singer in the show. You know, she just all she had to do hit that I'm so bad, and she won the vote, right? Because she hit that note and she sing that song, which is made for 12 people, which is crazy. But she's the queen, and I also I don't know if you've seen this, Chris, but all her stages in Immortal songs in the past.
I have not seen all of them. I sometimes they pop up on YouTube. I'll watch it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, her. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. She has experience. This is now more no longer Queendom 2 is beat Hyolyn.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. So let's start with the song, right? So the song choice again. For her, it works. I would say the song choice itself
Hmm.
for me, I wanted to see another Luna song, another type of Luna concept being showcased because Luna's first performance with Paint the Town was Girl Crush with a hint of like Joshin stuff happening.
Hmm.
And then this, she took the song, which is a Girl Crush song, but then she recontextualized it with a lot of interesting thematics. You know, on stage, it's a big city. She's Catwoman. She's doing things. She's in the moon, which is kind of cool. That's okay.
Oh yeah, that part. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put a pin in that for a second and go back to the song just for a moment. So there is a hint of Paint the Town in
Yes.
the first chorus, and I think it's just the first chorus. To me, I think that was the best way to incorporate two songs without having it be like a primary part of the performance, right? And
Gotcha.
um, if we're just comparing it to what we just saw with Kepler doing Pool Party with Roland in the chorus, it felt like Roland was just like such a big part of that song because they did it in both choruses, and then just the visual reminder of what the choreography looks like, right? So again, like the Kepler song is just very fun. It's light. It's great. It's just they did Roland once, and I thought that was going to be it. And then they did it again. It's like, oh, it's essentially part of the song. So it depends on your taste. If you like it, if you want that kind of hint and reminder, more prominent in your song, in your performance and stages, then Kepler is the thing for you. Amazing. I think they actually just did it well. The way it was constructed didn't work for me, but I think they also did it well. Hyodin just threw that in. Luna lost their minds. Luna here, to me, felt like they were children. They're not, right? They're like early 20s to mid 20s. And
yeah, they're not children.
They felt like the same age as Kepler in this episode. They were just like so excited to be there. They're in a group text with Hyodin. I was just like, what is this? What about my brain? Just like, I don't understand. And just like whenever they cut, so my favorite member is Eve. Whenever they cut to her, it's just like she has this doughy face. It's just like, wow, big sister, thank you. I'm just like, you are not 12 years old anymore. Stop acting. No, just kidding. She's fine. I'm just being dramatic. But also just very cute. It just really showed just how I think it's a sign of respect, right? Also, where it's just like, you know, Hyodin chose them specifically. Hyodin's been around for half of their life, essentially, in K-pop. So like actual age life. So it's just I think it's a cool sign of respect, right? Song wise, she did turn it into her own in a lot of ways. I think the vocals didn't have that in the original, right? Like I think you mentioned it, where she's just, if she just stuck to the old version, she wouldn't have very many opportunities to showcase like her belting and her ability to kind of play with like the melodies. But no, she redid it. And I think it goes back into the process where she is a one-woman machine. I don't know how much of the actual production was just her, but it very specifically showed that she was running through every single line, all the different vocal layers, redoing everything, like sitting in one spot. And it's just like, I cannot wrap my head around this. It's like, you are just like a musical savant is what I'm getting from this. I'm sure, again, she has producers to help her like clean everything up, but the fact that she was in there on her own, just over and over and over, working out the song is just, I think it's just kind of marvelous.
But isn't her company Bride just her?
You know more than I do. If it is, oh my god.
Do I? I don't know.
I have no idea. Maybe I should look it up, but that wouldn't surprise me because it does feel like she's just collaborating with friends over Zoom, which is amazing. Great team, yeah. But let's cut to the very important part of the performance. It's the aerial yoga with the hoop. All right,
bro.
First, they showed her struggling as if like, I'm so afraid. And then they actually show the stage. It's like, you are like 10 feet off the ground with no harness. And then you just do it. Reach.
You're spinning.
How do you feel about the acrobatics of one Hyodin Catwoman on stage?
Look. Since the teaser, I'm like, wow. Right? And I know for a fact she's not gonna mess this up. She's Hyodin. She doesn't mess up. All right. She makes sure she get it. I was afraid because like when we saw she was getting ready, she was up in the air, she was spinning. I'm like, dude, you're above. You're gonna fall into people if that. And the connection, I pay attention to the connection to the ring, to the little rig. Like that doesn't look safe. I cannot see this. But then boom. She pops in like a Catwoman. She did her thing. And she's the queen. I'm speechless. I don't know. She killed the stage.
So I don't know the real time frame of it. It's just what they showed on the show, and it's a little over a week, so it's about 10 days from the time that she puts everything together. So I'm sure she's practicing the aerial yoga acrobatics, but still to like learn that in that amount of time and then just like confidently like, I got this. No harness. I'm just gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna put myself into 3 positions, which otherwise would like. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling. So I was kind of like palm sweating. I was like, oh my God, like she's not attached to anything. Because as she finishes her last position, the ring is already lowered to ground level or stage level where she can just like hop off. She doesn't remove anything. So that immediately I was like, she was not attached to any safety precautions. She just did this. Okay, cool. Got it. And then she just went and did the performance in heels. I'm just like, oh, this is a thing.
And I'm pretty sure those latex she's wearing is probably extra slippery with those rings.
Yeah. Just all. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason to have a rehearsal.
Take note, Kepler team.
To practice all of the safety things you need to do for something like this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, just going back to everything. Oh, big shout out to the dancers. I think the dancers also made this performance way more powerful than I think it would have otherwise been. I mean, again, she is the sole performer on stage, so she captures all of your attention. She does a lot of great crowd work, kind of circling the entire like center portion, back from the left to right. But then she has like this dance team that knows her so well that I feel like also elevates everything that she does. God, that's what else is there to say? I think I'm at a loss for words. So,
and also she knows how to work the crowd, right? And I think only her and Brave Girls had some crowd work parts in their song. So that's too bad the result doesn't go the way Brave Girls does. But for Hyorin, yeah, she knows how to work the crowd.
Yeah, I wanted to clap. I wanted to stand up and like go with it.
You did it? I did.
Well, I wanted to like go super ham, but I also it was, when did I watch it? I watched it around like 11 at night, Pacific. So the ordeal that I went through that day with the show. So
you were waiting for a watch party. Come on.
I wasn't paying attention to details in the moment, and I thought that they had like moved the time. I was so annoyed, and then you told me that that's not the case. So thank you. And also shout out to all the other groups that they cut away to. VVZ had amazing reactions. Shinbi was loving every minute of it. And Umji just started dancing and clapping and just going with it. So God, it's amazing all around. Umji. I love her very much.
Performances.
God, right. All right. And then they did cut to some of the reactions from the different idol groups that were there. AOA and G Idol just had amazing things to say about the entire day. Some of the boy groups were there too. The boys won us.
Did not pay attention. Probably ONF, I think.
Okay.
TO1, I think. I don't know.
TO1, yes, because they're renamed. See, that was and
are they renamed too?
One of the groups is renamed.
Yeah, TO1.
Yeah, so that's why my brain was like, "Oh, I know that this happened, but now I don't know what actual group is there aside from the boys." So thanks. TOO. See,
they were formerly TOO. Now it's TO1.
Yeah, there we go. Jeez. Also, just boy groups. I'm so sorry. Boy groups fans.
Me too.
But yeah, it was just amazing praise from all of the idols. So shout out to them for being part of the festivities. All right, let's move into the results portion. Very interesting how it all turned out. So just to clarify, I think the point totals are accomplished by audience votes. So they
live.
Right, the live votes, right? So the people are like furiously pressing the buttons. They're cutting away too.
Yeah, we saw that part.
Great. And then there is a global virtual audience that is there. So everyone that's on a Zoom call watching the live stream, specifically happening for this show, right? So it's not something that we can jump into, but it's it's kind of crazy. So shout out to Nina who applied, got it, and then said, I actually can't do this because I'm working. So it's a real thing, guys. And then self-evaluations. So where groups rank groups relative to each other. So either is there a
self or each other?
It's self in the fact that they're putting their group ranked against other groups. So is there anyone
but do they
you?
rank themselves or just the other 5? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm Luna,
yeah,
do I rank myself or I'm just ranking the others?
I think they're just ranking themselves.
Oh,
I don't think they're putting them in an order. I think they're just saying, is this group better than me? Or is this group lower than me? Like who is above and who is below?
Oh yeah, I know that part. But is that also accounted for the points? No, right? That's just for part of the segment of the show. Because sometimes you don't have to pick whoever better than you, but you must pick who is below than you.
Okay, then I got that confused. We're gonna go with that.
That's not going into the point system, right?
If it's not, then I retract it, and
I'm not sure.
Yeah, likewise. I tried to research it a little bit, but it's still unclear what the point total is if that's included. But I know for sure it's global audience, in-studio audience, and then judges have like a big portion of like the pie that they show at the end, right? Mm-hmm. Point totals. We've got, let's start 6 and work our way to 1. Oh, sadly, Brave Girls at 2,619 points at 6th place. Kepler, 5th place with 4,031. BVZ, 4th place, 4,433. 3rd place, Ujusonyo, 5,337. 2nd place, Luna, 6,432. And 1st place, retitling the show to Can You Beat Hyorin with a full 10,000 points. Hyorin.
These the boys from Road to Kingdom.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
I did watch some of Road to Kingdom, yep.
Yeah, the boys scores first in all of them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about how this turned out? And do you have any takes on why certain things are happening?
I understand why Kepler is low because I think they, you can't miss Dayan. If you're live on the stage, you're not gonna miss that. Like I think they kind of take that into account. So I understand they. I thought they were going to be in the below half, like 4, 5, or 6, because the only reason they would be 4th, I think, because they have a large fan base, right? Because they have, you can see the views from YouTube. They got the following. Brave Girls, boy. I did mention the previous session that they got their struggle with popularity. I think this also reflects that very well in how the audience vote. I thought I like their stage. I did say last week that they have the best song, but that's just me. I do think they still have the best song out of all the 6. And the first 4, yeah, reasonable. I get it.
We did touch on this a little bit last week. I'll just reiterate a little bit of it. Again, I think 1, 2, and 3, typically, if you're like live audience and you're just experiencing it, you kind of have an idea of who the best are. At least the best like objective performances, or at least the ones that move you, right? That make you feel something. Mm-hmm. And if Brave Girls essentially doesn't put on like the best stage, I feel like they just get lost in the mix. Like at least as far as like what is emotionally connected to the audience, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the stage is great. I think between Luna and them, they did the best job of creating like the thematics of being a stage performance, right? Mm-hmm. The theatrical nature, right? I think they did a really nice job with the storytelling and using props and feeling like a party. And yet it just doesn't connect with the audience. I don't understand. Oh, I understand why. It's just overall popularity, I think, has a lot to do with it. And again, they have to do essentially a legendary, iconic stage for people to look past like what is happening. I also think Hyorin being last played a really big part into forgetting about other performances, right? Because she essentially stole the show. I mean, that's why you go last, because if you have an iconic stage, you will just be in everyone's memory at that point. So a little bit of audience psychology there playing into effect. And yeah, man, I understand why people watching it live who have a vote would then vote the way they did. But yeah, Brave Girls, man, so sad. I just really hope that however the point totals shake out for the upcoming challenges, it pushes them up in some capacity. Because again, if they get eliminated, that would just be a damn shame.
Yeah. So, I do want to go back to the point when I was talking about Rollin and Brave Girls. Talking about Brave Girls in popularity, right? So let me see how you agree with this statement I'm about to make. Rollin, what makes Brave Girls, not the other way around. I think Rollin is why Brave Girls is popular, and I think the general public knows Rollin more than Brave Girls even now, right? It's just it's just I guess a good story to make for not a story. I mean, it's just the narrative right now. I think, in my opinion, for them.
Yeah, I'll actually build off of that. So one, I do agree that Rollin is the signature reason why Brave Girls are successful, at least in the current status of K-pop and K-pop idols, right? But Brave Girls actually are a Gen 2 group. However you want to delineate generations and eras, they are a much older, they're a senior group, right? A senior group that promoted at a time where you have the typical Gen 2 girl groups, right? And I think the style of music plus the style of performances they do, I think that was the first hurdle and kind of challenge that they needed to at least overcome and kind of readjust, recalibrate people's expectations of them. The first stage with Chimapadam and Rollin, I think, was severely overlooked. Kind of ridiculous, I think, how overlooked it was, because that was probably one of the better stages to me. This challenge really hurt them, because if they got any other group, they could have done their best songs, their more popular songs, well-known songs, done a different take on it, and then really been able to at least elevate their status, right? Because now they're doing something familiar with something new.
They killed Mask, though.
They did an excellent, amazing job with Mask. But Mask is like a B-side to a brand new girl group. Granted, it's Kepler, so people should know them. But it's like that song just did not exist really in a lot of people's consciousness if you're only a general audience person, right?
Right.
So great performance, in my opinion, as well. But all those factors of, again, like more like the audience psychology of like, what are you attaching to? What are you emotionally moved by? If you don't know Mask, then that's just another song, right?
Yeah.
And now you're trying to compare it with what else is memorable to you in the moment that day, however long the taping was. So
yeah.
They're
like the lovelies of this season.
Rough. That's God. Yeah, the thing is, like, I appreciated Lovelies for being there in Queendom 1. I cannot remember a stage or a song that they did that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's their signature stage that season.
They struggle with the votes too.
Yeah. Whereas at least Brave Girls, for me, that first stage, Chimapadam Rollin, that is a signature like stage. It's like that was great. They did a lot of cool things. I mean, they had the drum opening. Yeah, man, it's just tough spot. All right. I'm gonna throw this one at you. What is your ranking for the collab? Is it collaboration? The swap challenge, the cover challenge. What is your 1 through 6, sir?
What? I didn't make a list. Oh man.
This is how we do it. We just throw these
This
last
is
minute concepts at you and see if you can roll with
my
it.
my biased list. Okay. Let me pull up
Do
the
it.
notepad real quick.
Subjective, completely.
Okay.
I have mine if you'd like me to go first.
Yeah, please.
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure you prefer.
Okay. I'll go 1 through 6. I have a story actually, so this will give you some extra time. All right. So actually, we're gonna go 6 through 1. I'm gonna change it. I'm so sorry for all the audience listeners. We're just rolling it. We love the show. We're excited. All right, 6 through 1. Kepler Pool Party, very spicy. I know. Number 5, Brave Girls Mask. Number 4,
What?
Would You Sonia? I know. After I spent like 30 minutes talking about how much I loved it, right? But there's a reason, right? Would You Sonia?
Yeah.
Navilera. Okay. Number 3, Hyorin. So What? Number 2, VVZ Unnatural. And number 1, with Shake It, Luna. The reason why I have it 5th is really just because to me, those other performances moved me a lot. I think objectively, well, not objectively. I think if I really wanted to like make a shift, it would be like a spicy shift. It'd be pushing Hyorin down a bit. I know, crazy, right? And actually like putting Brave Girls 4th or 3rd, even maybe 3rd. I think 4th is probably it. I went back to Navalera by Uji Sonyo. My God, again, like the reason why I didn't have it higher is because it felt very similar to the first stage, but as a stage itself, it's kind of incredible. And just kind of watching the straight on shot of it, it's just like, Jesus, these girls are just professional. They've executed the stage perfectly well. And there's just a lot to like about it. And then I actually went back and listened to the original Navalero. Very different.
Yeah.
So it just, that's what's like, okay, awesome. All right. So with Luna, my number 1 stage with Shake It, there's just so much that went into it, like emotionally. One, you got to see Luna kind of shine for the first time in this entire show with The Process. Again, my favorite members were highlighted quite a bit. Shout out to Heejin and Eve. And I think they did the best job of theatrically representing, themselves, telling a story, doing great things on stage. Lastly, I ran a half marathon today. I timed it perfectly with the last quarter mile with Luna and Shake It. I sprinted to the finish line and I crossed the finish line as the song ended. I'm not making this up, everyone. I mean, I have no way to prove it, but it was perfect. So
we believe you.
Forever, I will match Luna with this half marathon I accomplished earlier today. It's the 408K half marathon in San Jose, California. Yeah.
Very nice.
And I timed it perfectly. My playlist is pretty fire, by the way. A lot of Stacy, a lot of Billy, all of the songs from Queendom 2.
Run to You.
It was the perfect song for it, right? What else did I have? I had VVZ. I listened to VVZ like a really good chunk of it. And that was just like, just right there into my heart. Yeah. And I had some Aspa because, we love them too. I'm getting off topic. But yes, Luna, Shake It, number 1 here and probably number 1 for the rest of the show, unless something else like blows my brain out of the water, which it might. So I think for now, Luna just has my heart. Thanks, Eve. Okay. You're the best.
Eve.
All right, sir. What is your top 6?
Okay, my top 6. So I got to come up with the last minute criteria on how I'm going to biasly rank them, right? So I'm gonna do it the easiest way. Which songs do I listen most? Because I prioritize the song more than anything. So number 1, Luna Shake It, of course. I listen to that every day still. It's in my playlist. Number 2, Brave Girls. And I love the song. I think it's the best song. But Luna had the better performance. Shout out to Hustle with a perfect custom rip. But no, no shade to the other two because they're also perfect in my eyes. Number 3, Uju Sonyo. I really like that song and the performance. I also like the drama they went through. Number 4, Kepler. I like Pool Party. I like Rollin'. I don't like how they choose Rollin' because they just covered the song, but nevertheless, great song. Shout out to Diane for powering through. Number 5, BBG. Number 6, Hyorin. Yeah.
That is spicy. I love it. I'm here for it. Maybe I should have been bolder and just like put Hyorin 6 as well.
I tried to listen to her song. I just, it's just not. I don't know.
No, it's
not
clear,
bad, but yeah, it's not my taste the way she made it.
Yeah, and it's a clear criteria, right? It's the songs that you revisit. So I think that is very fair. No, that's great list. Great list. All right. So let's move into previews.
Is it great?
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I think you're great.
Awesome.
I think you're an excellent human being. So anything you put on paper is a reflection of who you are as a good individual. All right. Let's move into some of the previews. All right. So we've got the girls, all the members, going on vacation to a cottage area, something. A lot more Unha, so much Unha. Are they just gonna focus in on her and have her cry the entire time? I feel so bad for her. I hope she gets some.
She wasn't crying. She was like whimpering,
exasperated, right?
Yeah.
So they did preview a little bit of the upcoming challenge. It's going to be unit challenges. So we're going to have vocals, dance. Forgot the other ones. I didn't write it down because
rap,
rap, maybe
performance. I think
performance. Okay. Yeah, I try not to look at spoilers, look at anything ahead of time. So whatever they show me on the show is what I'm going to go off of, right? But yeah, what do you think about perhaps next week being a filler episode in the sense that there's not going to be a performance, but a lot of relationship building between all of the members of the different groups?
Yeah, so I love filler episodes because we sometimes just get too tired with all the emotions of the performance and everything. So I'm looking forward for next week. We saw a preview of looks like the vocal unit. We can kind of tell who's in that unit and why they portray Unha, not Unbi, to be like, I know she was like, oh, I hope they pick me. I hope they pick me kind of scenario. Maybe they're trying to paint a picture of like she's not out of the group. She's probably the weakest vocal. Maybe they're trying to, give that suggestion. And also 3 words. Street woman fighter. Right. That's the big teaser, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I did see something on Twitter about this. Okay.
You didn't see the teaser.
I try not to watch all of the teasers.
It was at the end of the episode.
It's at the very end, right? I cut it off like as Unha was crying. I was just like, this is too much. I don't want to see it anymore. I've consistently done this every episode. I don't watch all the teasers, so I apologize for those who wanted us to talk about it. Reach, you can talk about it. Street Woman Fighter. Well, my question for you is, did they show the YGX dancers? Because I love them all. I'm a big simp for YGX dancers. I'm the rare breed that knows them all.
They showed 2, La Chica and Monica.
Okay.
Which is Proud Mon.
Okay. Yeah, they are not.
That's all they showed.
Yeah. I didn't dig into that show too much. I saw clips here and there. And then,
you gotta.
I hear such good things because the drama is intense. Like
it is.
They just go after each other because it's the circle of dancers in Korea that all know each other, and it's essentially like step it up, but real. Real as can be, right?
That's good. That's a good description.
Yeah, like
step it up, real. Step it up.
Yeah, like pretty. It feels pretty real. Some of those clips, I'm just like, what the hell? Do they really like want to fight each other? Like, my God. But yeah, no. Yeah, those dancers are amazing. If you don't know YGX dancers, just look them up on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. There's a reason why I follow them. Let's just put it that way.
Lee-jung, your girl?
Rian.
Oh, Rian. Oh, okay.
You know Rian? Yes. Oh my gosh. If some background on Rian, she is very much ingrained into like Blackpink's dance situation, collaboration, however you want to put it. Mm-hmm. She toured with them. She did the world tour with them. She when they set up choreography to model for the group, her position is always Lisa's position. That should paint the picture as to why I think she's amazing as a dancer and also conventionally attractive. So that's where we're at. All right, sir. Amazing episode as always. It's so fun doing these with you. I really do appreciate that you come on and we get to talk about it for like 2 hours. So thanks. Yeah, man. A lot to say. We'll do next week for sure. I think it'll be fun to kind of recap the events and activities that they do. And yeah, any
I do have a correction for you, Chris.
Sure thing.
Rian is from La Chica, not YGX.
She's YGX.
Sure?
Yeah.
Rian? Ri-jung.
Ryeon. Rayon? Is it Rayen?
I'm looking up. I'm looking up profiles. There's no Rian. Rian is from La Chica.
There is a Rayon YGX.
Maybe it's like the other.
She might not be on the show. That's the thing. I think she was on the show.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I was talking about the show. Okay.
Got it. Yeah. No, I don't know if she's on the show. I noticed that she always promotes the show on her Instagram because those dancers are part of YGX. So she's always hyping them up.
Okay. You're talking about the whole group, not the one that goes to the show.
Yeah. The studio. The YGX dancer choreographer studio. Yeah. So I don't think she's on the show. But yeah.
It's time corrected.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry.
Man. No, it's okay. For those curious, feel free to look them up. They're all amazing dancers. So if that's your thing, if you just want to see the process, they do really go through just the dance process, what it means to be a dancer. I've been calling like backup dancers just dancers since we're going on a different tangent now. It's fine. Since Chungha did a ton of interviews back in like 2019-20 when she was like really popping off. And she would always refer to it. It's like, they're dancers. I don't think they're backup dancers. They dance with me. They're part of the performance. So I just call them dancers. And she was just very like stoic about it. I was like, I love you so much. I love her. So ever since then, I specifically call them just dancers. And yeah. So I'm channeling.
All the more reason for you to watch Street One Fighter.
Gosh, okay. Yeah. That's another thing to put on the list, but
we can watch it together. I'll rewatch it again.
You are so kind. You're so kind. But yeah, jeez. Okay, we'll plan this offline.
For sure.
All right, Reach. Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Yeah, no problem. I love this too.
All right. Signing out. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Soju Sessions on the Soju Talk Nation podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and continue the conversation on the Soju Talk K-pop podcast Discord. For Reach, I'm Crispy, and this has been the Soju Sessions.